Welcome back, guys. And I'm excited for this one because we're going to be talking about the anatomy of a viral clip. But we're going to go much deeper than just the structure of a viral clip. We all know the hook, the body, and the CTA, and keeping retention in a viral video is very crucial. But today I really want to go deeper and why humans behave the way they do when they consume content. Sorry. So again, we're gonna go over the overview, the intro, the algorithm explained through human behavior, the anatomy of a viral clip, applying the anatomy to your actual content, and your action plan. So the clip doesn't go viral because the platform liked it. It spreads because human nervous system kept voting yes. So this version keeps the same anatomy: the hook, the setup, the body, climax, and then the close, which is your CTA. But now we're going one level deeper. We're not just asking what a viral clip looks like, we're asking why a stranger actually stops scrolling, why they stay, why they replay, why they share, why one sentence makes them feel seen and another sentence makes them pretty much disappear. Because every second of a viral clip is a behavioral trigger. The algorithm only sees the behavior, the human brain creates it. So attention is not given, it is interrupted, earned, and emotionally justified. Short form content is the most valuable real estate on the internet right now because it sits directly inside the smallest decision window humans have online. A stranger sees your clip with no context. They do not know your name, they do not know your offer, they do not know if you are credible. Their brain has one job: decide almost instantly whether this is worth metabolic energy or not. That sounds very dramatic, but that is what attention is. Attention costs the brain effort. Watching costs effort. Making meaning costs effort. So the brain filters ruthlessly. It asks, is this new? Is this relevant? Is this threatening? Is this rewarding? Is this about me? Most creators are making content for the conscious mind. They write explanations, they open slowly, they assume the viewer is listening like a student, but the viewer is not a student yet. In the first few seconds, they are a nervous system scanning for a reason to actually care. So today we're breaking down the anatomy of a viral clip from the inside out. Not just the structure, but the psychology underneath the actual structure. Why content consumption is a great decision. Every viral clip begins before the viewer understands the actual topic. It begins with detection. The brain is constantly predicting what will happen next. Most of the feed is predictable. Same face, same lighting, same opening line, same rhythm, same promise. Predictable information gets ignored because the brain already knows what category to actually put it in. A strong clip creates a prediction error. Something in the first second does not match the pattern the viewers expected. A bold statement, a visual contradiction, a facial expression that carries tension, a sentence that starts in a place the viewer did not anticipate. The little mismatch wakes the system up. The brain says, wait, what is this? From there, attention has to be emotionally justified. The viewer does not keep watching because the topic is objectively useful. They keep watching because the topic touches a desire, a fear, frustration, identity, curiosity gap, or social risk they already carry. This is why educational content fails when it is only accurate. Accuracy does not automatically create attention. Accuracy has to be attached to a human motive. This clip is not fighting other clips. It is fighting the viewer's instinct to conserve energy. So, part one, the algorithm explained through human behavior. The algorithm does not understand your art. It understands what people do after they see it. Think of the algorithm like a behavior mirror. Most creators treat the algorithm like a mysterious judge, like it has taste, like it wakes up and decides who deserves attention. That is the wrong relationship. The algorithm is not a judge of meaning, it is a mirror of behavior. It watches what humans do. Then it sends the content to more humans who are likely to do the same thing. If people stop, the algorithm sees attention. If they stay, it sees retention. If they replay, it sees unresolved value. If they share, it sees social usefulness. If they comment, it sees emotional activation. If they click your profile, it sees curiosity strong enough to become a pursuit. The platform is not rewarding you for being good, it is rewarding you for creating measurable human behavior. That shift matters because it changes the creative question. The question is no longer, is this a good clip? The question is, what behavior is this clip designed to create? And where in the script does the behavior become likely? What the algorithm is actually measuring, the algorithm cannot feel your pacing. It cannot admire your cinematography. It cannot tell that the lighting took 3 hours. It cannot know the idea is original. It measures behavior. Did the viewer pause? Did they watch past the hook? Did they complete the clip? Did they loop it? Did they save it because it felt useful? Did they share it because it explained something they could not explain themselves? Each of those actions points to a different psychological mechanism. A pause often means salience. The clip became more noticeable than the surrounding feed. Retention often means curiosity. The brain has an open loop it wants closed. A replay often means density. There was enough information or emotion to process again. A save often means future self-interest. A share often means social signaling. The clip is saying something about me, my taste, my problem, my opinion, or my identity. This is why viral content is not random. The exact topic can be unpredictable. The human mechanisms are not. A viral clip is a sequence of tiny yes from the nervous system. So, the compounding effect of behavioral trust. Here's what most creators miss out about algorithm trust. It is really audience prediction built over time. When your clips repeatedly create strong behavior with the first test audience, the platform has more confidence about who should see you next. It is not trust in the emotional sense, it is statistical confidence. But for the creator, it feels like trust. Your content gets more early distribution. Your next post gets better chance. Your account becomes easier to categorize. This is why consistency matters, but not in the shallow way people say it. Consistency is not just posting every day. Consistency is repeatedly training the platform on the same audience, the same emotional territory, and the same behavioral promise. If 1 week you teach client acquisition, the next week you post random behind the scenes, the next week you rant about gear, the platform has to relearn what human behavior to expect from you. The strongest creators become predictable to the algorithm and surprising to the viewer. Same audience, same problem pace, fresh angle every time. This is the sweet spot. Behavior consistency with creativity novelty. Part 2. The anatomy of a viral clip. Structure works because the brain needs a path from uncertainty to reward. The 5-part structure. Every high-performing short-form clip follows the same underlying structure because human attention follows the same basic sequence. First, something has to interrupt automatic scrolling. Then it has to create enough relevance to stay. Then it has to deliver information, emotion, or proof. Then it has to peak. Then it has to resolve or redirect. That is the anatomy. So the first 3 seconds, obviously we know, is the hook. The next 7 seconds is the setup, and then we go with the body, the climax, and then the close or the CTA. Those 5 parts are not arbitrary timestamps. They are psychological jobs. When one job fails, the viewer's brain gets permission to leave. The goal is to not manipulate people. The goal is to respect how attention actually works. If you want someone to receive value, you build a path their brain is willing to walk on. So let's break it down. The hook, 0 3 seconds. 3 seconds is the entire audition. The hook has one job: create a pattern interrupt strong enough to stop the scroll. Not explain, not introduce, not warm up, stop. The hook works because the brain is scanning for salience. Salience means this matters more than the background. The feed is the background. Your first frame, your first sentence have to become the actual signal. There are 2 ways to do that: novelty or relevance. Novelty says this is not the same as everything else. Relevance says this is about you. A hook with novelty but no relevance becomes entertainment with no retention. A hook with relevance but no novelty becomes useful information nobody stops for. The best hooks combine both. Say, your content is not failing because of the algorithm. It is failing because the first 3 seconds never give the brain a reason to spend energy. That line works because it challenges a belief, names a pain, and opens a loop. The viewer now wants the missing explanation. The setup. The setup is usually 7 seconds. The setup begins after attention has been interrupted. Now the viewer needs a reason to keep investing energy into this video. This is where most creators lose people. They confuse content with momentum. They explain too much. They introduce themselves. They build a runway when the viewer needs friction. Psychologically, the setup has to answer 3 silent questions. 1, is this for me? 2, what is at stake if I keep watching? And 3, what gap will be closed by the end of this video? The third question is the key. The setup creates an open loop. Humans dislike unresolved information, especially when the unresolved information is connected to a personal goal or fear. For creative owners, the setup might sound like this. If you're getting views but not inquiries, the problem is probably not your offer. It is the emotional sequence your clip creates before the viewer ever reaches your CTA. Now, the right viewer feels identified. They know the topic, they know the pain, they know the promise. The clip has moved from interruption to personal relevance. The body. The body is where the value lives. But value is not just information. Value is information that reduces confusion, increases agency, and chances the viewer emotional state. The brain likes cognitively fluency. That means it rewards ideas that feel easy to process, not shallow, clear. This is why the body needs short sentences, concrete language, and one idea at a time. Every extra clause creates friction. Every vague phrase asks for the viewer to work harder. Every detour gives the numb permission to move. The body also has to deliver on the hook's promise. If the hook created curiosity around specific tension, the body cannot wander into 3 related ideas. The brain remembers the promise. The content starts feeling like bait and switch, trust stops. A strong body creates little rewards every few seconds. Every frame, a useful distinction, a sentence that makes the viewer think, that is exactly what I've been doing wrong. Do not save all the value for the end. Retention is built by repeated rewards, not delayed payment. The climax. The climax is the emotional or intellectual peak. It is the line the viewer remembers after the clip ends. Psychologically, the climax works because memory favors emotional intensity and compression. The brain does not store the whole clip equally. It stores the moments that felt sharp, useful, surprising, validating, or socially shareable. Most creators do not design a climax. Their clips simply run out of words. But a viral clip needs a strongest point, a sentence that concentrates the entire idea into something quotable. For this script, the climax might be the algorithm does not make people care. People care first, and then the algorithm follows the evidence. That line works because it flips the common belief. It gives the viewer a clean mental model. It makes the invisible system feel understandable. A strong climax often carries one of the four emotional triggers: relief, because the viewers finally understands; recognition, because they feel seen; tension, because a belief challenge or status, because sharing it makes them insightful. Design the climax before you actually film, then build towards it. And then the CTA or the close. The close has to resolve the brain's immediate tension without draining the energy the climax created. This is where many clips collapse. The creator finally lands the strongest idea, then adds four extra sentences, three disclaimers, and a CTA that feels detached from everything that came before. The close should do one of two things: resolve the open loop or open the next loop. The strongest closes do both. Resolve. This is why your next clip should start with the behavior, not information. Open. And once you understand which behavior you are trying to trigger, your hooks get easier to write. Then the CTA becomes a natural step instead of a commercial interruption. The brain resists sudden demands, especially after consuming free value, but it responds well completion. And the next action feels like a logical continuation of the insight. The viewer is more likely to follow it. One direction, one step, clear and done. So, applying the anatomy to your actual content. Analytics tell you where behavior change. Psychology tells you why. The audit. Where is your clip breaking? Most underperforming short content is not failing because the creator has nothing valuable to say. It is failing because the clip asks for behavior it is not earned. Low reach usually means the first test audience did not pause, finish, replay, or engage strongly enough. Start with the hook. Did the first frame create silence? Did the first line create a prediction error? Did the viewer instantly understand why this connected to them? High reach with low watch time usually means the hook worked, but the setup failed. You got attention, then you did not convert it into curiosity. The viewer stopped, but the brain did not find enough reason to keep spending energy. Good watch time with low saves or shares usually means the body delivered information, but the climax did not create memory or social value. People understood it, but they did not feel compelled to keep sending it or keeping it. Good engagement with low conversion usually means the close was weak. The audience cared, but the next step was unclear, too large, or emotionally disconnected. The platform variations. The anatomy is consistent across platforms. The execution changes because each platform trains the viewer into different consumption state. Instagram Reels is visual first. The viewer often decides with the first frame before they fully process the first sentence. Your visual hook has to carry emotion, contrast, motion, and an implied story. The verbal hook should sharpen what the image already made them feel. TikTok rewards speed and raw immediacy. The viewer expects the clip to start in motion, set up to be compressed. The body has to feel like a discovery happening live, not A lecture being delivered from a distance. YouTube Shorts is retention sensitive. The viewer is often deciding whether the clip deserves completion. A clean close matters here because finishing the thought is part of the signal. LinkedIn allows slightly more context, but professional audiences are still emotional audiences. The trigger may be status, competence, fear of falling behind, or the desire to make better decisions. Do not confuse business content with emotional behavior. Different platforms, same brain, different rhythm, same anatomy. What does this mean for creative brand owners specifically? For photographers, filmmakers, and creative brand owners, the anatomy of a viral clip is not just content framework. It is trust building sequence. A potential client does not watch a clip as an abstract viewer. They watch while asking quite buying questions. Does this person understand my problem? Do they see what others creatives miss? Can they explain complexity clearly? Do I trust their taste? Do I feel more confident after listening to them? This is why behavior matters beyond views. A view is not a goal. The goal is a 45-second interaction that exchanges the viewer's perception of you. The hook earns attention, the setup makes the client feel identified, the body builds confidence, the climax creates memorability, and the close turns entrance into direction. Repeated across 20, 30, 50 clips, that sequence builds familiarity before the sales call ever happens. The viewer arrives warmer because the brain has already practiced trusting you. That is the real estate we are building on, not the feed, the mind of the right person, one completed clip at a time. So, what's your action plan? 5 things. Build the neuroscience of attention into your next clip before filming anything. Write the behavior before you write the hook. Do not start with the topic. Start with the behavior you want. Pause, watch, replay, save, share, click, inquire, or all of the above. The hook should be built to trigger that behavior, not simply introduce the subject. Create one visual prediction error. Before the viewer hears the full idea, give the brain something unexpected to process. Movement, contrast, expression, proximity, text on a screen, a frame that implies a story already in progress. Build the setup around human motive. Name the emotional reason the viewer should care. Fear of wasting time, desire for clarity, frustration with low inquiries, curiosity about why a clip performed, identity as a serious creative. Make the viewer feel located. These first 3 steps happen before the script gets clever. They make the clip behaviorally alive. Sorry, my Spanish gets in the way sometimes. They make the clip behaviorally alive. Without them, the rest of the anatomy has to drag attention uphill. Your action plan. So, number 4, put the strongest sentence at the climax. Write the whole script, then find the line that creates the sharpest frame. Move it into the 0:35 window. Build the body toward so the viewer feels the idea land instead of merely hearing it pass by. Design the close as completion plus direction. Resolve the original open loop. Then give one clear next step. Do not stack CTAs. Do not explain the CTA for 20 seconds. The close should feel like a natural continuation of the actual insight. Before you go, if you want the exact framework to turn everything we covered today into content that actually sells, grab the Scroll Stop playbook. I have it linked in the description below. It is a complete system, hook archetypes, plug and play scripts, AI prompts, and a Notion workspace built specifically for creatives who are getting views but not making sales. And if you want to build the full content acquisition system for your specific brand or for your specific business, the strategy call link is at the bottom as well. Subscribe if this helped, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace. Remember, the algorithm is only the scoreboard. The game is human behavior. Learn the behavior, and the structure starts to actually make sense.